The topic that we will be discussing today is all about the Middle Eastern literature. In the 21st century, Middle Eastern, primarily Arabic, Persian, and Turkish literature encompasses a rich variety of genres whose maturation has profited from internal and external influences upon this literature over the past 14 centuries. The modern Arabic literature addresses the full range of human experience, often through a realist approach that employs the Arabic language in ways ranging the most formal to the most colloquial, while Turkish and Persian literatures have both followed individual trajectories since the modern period. They too evince a similar range with respect to genre and employment of language. The themes of these texts includes family life, Islam, and women, and the impact of war, education, wealth, and poverty, class and ethnic differences, and the relation of East and West, and so on. So the first story will be The Food of Paradise by Ibn Amjed. It is a short story that more on religious approach. This story is considered as one of the most important masterpieces made. It tackles about a story of hope and faith in which deals in divinity and religious belief towards Allah. The author of the story, The Food of Paradise, is Ibn Amjid or Ahmad Ibn Majidwas, an Arabian writer and one of the most influential writers in the field of Arabian literature, wherein their countries, it is their culture that Allah is considered a great figure towards them. So let's begin. But before summarizing the story, let me question you. Do you believe in God? Have you ever questioned God? Or why do we exist? Or do you ask Him, why are you suffering? Or if why the world seems unfair to you? The summary. The story talks of with the introduction of the main character, Mullah Ibrahim, who taught the religious belief of Islam to his students and seminary being built by the Caliph. The work doesn't really pay off for him. He then questioned the goodness of Holy Allah and why there is a diligent man like him, Hushal suffered. By this turn of events, Mullah Ibrahim left the seminary and took a journey away for the city of Baghdad, where he had lived all his life. He strayed and stayed under the tree beside the river, waited with an empty stomach, waking up, wishing food will be served. Then he asked himself that why are the birds of the air bringing food before the morning came, and yet he doesn't see it happening. And on the road above, people in the act doing holy pilgrims and travelers passed, but inevitably they ignored him. Hunger has crawled over his stomach with the he recalled with envy the millet and goat's milk the mullah would now be enjoying at the seminary he was back then. Still, he did not lose hope and continued to seek and grasp answers through praying and go on with the journey. When the noon came, he saw something floating in the river. He had bread, and inside it was the most delicious and delectable food. The sweet milk flowed from his taste almost and ate other delicate essences. After some time, Abraham started to wonder if his daily ration and he could trace his back to the river with was might see his castle with numerous dark spells. Then he abducted the princess, married her, and kept her in the tower. Both already died. They left their daughter, who governs the castle. A lady of surpassing wealth and beauty, but stayed in the castle because no one can dissolve the spell woven by his father, the Pasha. The next day, while on the river bank, Ibrahim the mullah saw a lady of exceeding beauty on the castle veranda looking at the river. She threw something into the river and disappeared like a moon behind the clouds. His eyes followed the object she had thrown. It was the very package of leaves containing the halwa which he had been receiving daily. With these grateful thoughts, Abraham cast himself into the trance of the holy man. He had acquired some knowledge of the magical art and helped the princess to cast the spell. There, he met Adhim, one of the jinns who promised to aid him back in breaking the magic spells in the castle. The princess asked Abraham if he wanted something in return, but he said to the princess that he had been grateful for the food she fed to him daily. But the princess was in doubt about what he said and explained everything. Abraham just found himself crying for his life. He was always received because the princess was used to his mind. He then realized that Allah surely gives food to everyone, but its kind, quality, are dependent on what one deserves.
And now, let us proceed to the theme or the moral lesson of the short story, The Food of Paradise. First, to reflect, as Christians, we have the similarities of belief for being faithful and hopeful for the Creator to provide what we need. But it doesn't mean to literally wait. We must work hard and gain from the way of provision God has given. So this means that things comes to us because that we deserve. It may be a waste to the princess, but to Abraham, it was the food of paradise that saved him from hunger, and he was able to find the truth that Allah or God is with him and surely gives food to everyone, but equality and kind are dictated or according to what man deserves. And this is where he realized that Allah isn't selfish because he provides. It's just that sometimes we people focus on the things that we don't have, that we fail to see, appreciate, and use that we already have. And now let us proceed to the highlights or the main points presented in the short story. The first one is, a wise man doth the excellence of life, circumspectly and slowly and heedful. Thus enjoy though the riches those won by the strife, never at one time more than needful. So this passage is being tackled when Abraham cried, stating that Allah surely gives food to everyone, but its quality and kind are dictated to what man deserves, just like what I've mentioned earlier. So particularly, it is telling that God surely guides us and supply everything that we need. But people should work hard and they surely get what they deserve. Because what you receive, it's what you deserve. Because some people are just literally waiting for blessings, but without doing anything. Yes, they can eat, but it is something to what they do and what they deserve. Next one is, excessive greed should not be cherished. Have greed, but keep it moderate. The all too greedy jackal perish, a wooded top knot on his bait. So this passage or message in the ending of the story tackles about greed, that as we knew it is something negative and a bad habit to do. But then it says there that have greed but keep it moderate. So what does it mean? Although the story doesn't really tolerate the greedy side there, but we cannot deny that all of us have their own greedy side. And for me, having greed is normal, since It's for yourself. You wanted to achieve something. You're just being ambitious. However, excessive greed or everything that excessive is dangerous and manifests negative trait, whatever your reason may be. So let's keep it moderate without hurting people and destroying relationship or leaving peers just for yourself. So that's all. Thank you for listening.